Check, check, yeah.
Check, 1 2 1 2. Check, 1 2 1 2. Sorry, but something went wrong during your broadcast. Please try again. Okay. Okay.
Let's see.
Are you live?
And the mic's picking up good.
All right, so we live then. Let's go.
Share. Get your phone. Give us a second. We can share the live real quick.
On my phone?
Yeah. The wind, like this ain't really recording yet.
All right, let's see here.
Share live. I'm gonna share. You share, man. This is a big moment, man, for the people, man.
Hey, how do we well,
just go to the video. I tagged on your. I tagged you. So I know you. I know you got yours so that way you gotta approve it.
Hold up.
Approve that, John, and then just put the share and just. We're gonna keep it very.
Let's see here.
Yeah, man.
Show me I'm horrible at this, boy. I'm gonna just put here. You go and do it for me real quick. That's one. Man, oh man. So we on the podcast. Okay. I'm checking you out over here, boy. See what you got going.
Let me see. Yeah, man.
Yo. We up in here. In the gizm. I'm home.
Hey, man, how you how were the wings the other day?
You know what? I ain't even get the wings.
Oh, you ain't even get them?
I ain't get the
Look
wings.
at the egg foo young.
I got the shrimp egg foo young player. That's it. Because I've been on my no fried food, no breads, no rice. I couldn't even get rice, bro. I just got the egg foo young and some vegetables.
I ain't gonna lie, you definitely you would switch up the diet on some super discipline.
Man.
Super discipline, like
it
uncanny how disciplined.
It take that. We good? You shared it?
I shared it, yo.
All right, bet.
I shared it to my people. So and while I do that, you good? Straight?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, man. Look, check. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What it do? We are in the building. Look, I say this a lot. I've said this a few times, but I think today is definitely one of them times where there's no cap.
All right.
In this rap. This is a very, very, very special. Matter of fact, give me a round of applause.
Hey.
We have a very, very, very special. Special ain't even a word without sounding, with the sake of sounding too pause and too sentimental. Got my brother in the building, man. We got, let me see. I'm going to make sure I'm going to do one of them Nori rollouts. We got Grammy Award. Is it winner, nominee, or both?
Let's do nominee right now.
That's bigger than most people will ever even see in their life. Most people just watching it if they got cable. We got Grammy nominated producer. We got multi-platinum producer. Yeah. We got multi-platinum artist, songwriter. We got philanthropist, book author, doctorate recipient. What else we got? What else we got? Life coach for sure. Yeah, mentor, big brother, husband, father, role model. I'm gonna say some of the accolades for the actual interview, but anything that piques your mind at the top, did I leave anything out?
Hey man, humble servant, man.
Hey
I'm
man,
here.
humble servant. Hey,
Most
look,
important.
say all that. Then say humble servant.
I'll let you said all that.
Yeah, facts.
I'm here.
Okay, man. Look, man. For those who don't know, which I don't see how that could even be possible, we have Mr. Kevin K.O. Case in the building. I'm sorry, Dr. Kevin K.O. Case in the building, man. What's going on, brother?
What's happening, bro?
Brother? I'm glad that we was able to put this together. This is
Yeah, I think this been a long time coming, bro.
For sure. For sure, this for sure, for sure. And then we do this on it's like so naturally on a regular basis. It's like, oh man, we got to get one of these.
Why
you know
not?
what I'm saying?
Why
like,
not?
Because I know a lot of the stuff that people, you know what I'm saying? But
I'm sure the city need this.
The state.
The state need it, yeah.
It's bigger than no Brian.
The whole game need it.
Yeah, this is the city, the state,
cool.
the up and coming, the OGs.
Let's give it
you
to
know
them.
what I'm saying?
Let's
so
give
hey,
it to
this is it, man. So y'all can thank me in the inbox. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a servant. I'm not just as humble as my brother. You know what I mean? Not just playing. But what's been going on with you though?
Man, that is a very broad question, bro. I don't even know where to start as far as, right now between my book, the book I just wrote, Human, and Human for Her. So there's 2 books out right now. And those are accompanied with an album. So I just produced the album, did music videos for every song on the album. So it's a whole movement in itself, online course, audio book, everything come with it. Man, I'm tripping. Here you go. Here you go, Human for Her right here for the ladies. Yes, that's right. And of course, Human for the men right here. Human for man, Human for her. So the books is crazy. Everything's all included in the books from, when you scan the QR code, you get all the music videos. And it's it's for mental wellness, mental health. Just as men especially, because it started with Human, for men. Us as men, we go through a lot. And a lot of times we don't have that. We don't have a platform or a place or a safe place to just be human, because we're told, suck it up, man up, and we just got to get back in the fight, but we are human. So we go through things. That's why so many brothers that's, dying of heart attacks and you got brothers committing suicide because they didn't, built up so much, just stress and just not having an outlet. And then not talking to nobody. So, Human is a powerful movement for us as brothers that I've been working on. It's been amazing. And as well as that, of course, I created Human for Her too. I don't know if you want to talk into that. I don't want to go into too deep.
Whatever you...
So, with Human, which I'm going to make sure Hurst give y'all a little sample of what it hit like. But, Human for Her was created in the mix of me creating Human and writing the book. And then I was realizing all these parallels that women go through just like us as men. Black women, black men, we go through a lot. And a lot of times there's a lot of our women, our queens go through so much that us as men may put them through. And there's no manual that tells you how to support and be there for a broken man, especially if a man doesn't realize he's broken at all. So Human for Her helps in that area, but it's coming from me as a big brother perspective of, hey, like as if you were my little sisters or whatever, I'm putting you on game of, ways to just, help you be even better when it comes to supporting your man or your significant other, or at the same time for someone who's single, I'm also giving you game of what to look out for so you don't waste your time going down a rabbit hole with somebody who ain't worthy of, your heart in the first place.
Let me ask you this, because I know it's totally different because your book is more of a curriculum, hands-on, from experience. Mm-hmm. But, shout out to our brother Steve Harvey. He had a book, Think Like a Man, back in the day. Mm-hmm. And he got in a movie too. Yeah. He got a lot of backlash from the culture, like, you blocking, you hating, bro. Right. So, and people like figures like Derrick Jackson, or even rest in peace Kevin Samuels, who, it's people who've come and tried to help educate or even uplift, just alter the paradigm of our culture when it comes to like dating, relationship, all type of aspects. Since we on family, let's just stick here. Mm-hmm. One, are you prepared for the people who may be like, hey, bro, you giving away the game? Because in order to make me defenseless, you would have to let the women know like the games that we play. So
right.
What is the fine line that you teeter with not, giving away too much game?
Bro, I stumped all over the line.
Oh.
In this season, everybody held accountable, just to be real. You know what I mean? Because we in a season, bro, to where everything is changing, from the economy, politics, our dollar ain't worth nothing right now. You know, there's so much going on in the world that a lot of people don't realize yet. But as it trickles down and affects everyone, we got to be on point. So it's that time where it ain't playtime no more. Like all that procrastinating, all the games that we playing, it can't happen no more. I mean, we got to be there to support each other, uplift each other, and you can't do that by tiptoeing and playing around. So with Human for Man, I'm holding people accountable, you know, period. Like it's a song for everything we go through as men. So in other words, if you slacking and procrastinating, then you gonna play this record and watch this music video. And I got a record that's when you get through hearing it, it's gonna make you say, let me get up and do something because I'm tripping. You know, if you dealing with you know, like if you just down and depressed, or you kind of got the victim mentality to where it's like you kind of upset because life is hard and don't nobody appreciate what you do and this and that. There's a song called We Built For It. And that song goes out to us as brothers. Like, look, man, we built for this. You know what I mean? We got to, you know, sometimes we got to give that to God and let God give us our praises and keep going, because if you're looking for praises from maybe your significant other or the kids or something, if they ain't ever walked in your shoes, how do they even know to even say, you know, they don't know what you're going through. So we can't assume they just know. So it's like, you know, it's songs for that. I even got a song for men who are actually, because I had a few brothers come to me like, look, man, I done met the girl of my dreams, but I don't know how to be faithful because, you know, that's all I know. All I know is I'm a player. That's what I do.
I think we had that talk.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we had that talk.
I'm sure throughout the years.
I'm pretty sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm sure we had that conversation.
Absolutely. And so I have a song for that. It's the first time ever in hip hop anybody did a song that teach men how not to cheat. Okay. And the song called Run. Simple and plain.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember Run?
Yeah, I remember Run.
And it's hard too,
yo.
The song hard. You know, and that's where the production side came. Like I'm able to do what I do on the production. So a record like that, the concept would be something like you never heard but can help you. But the beat so hard and the song itself is so hard, it'll have you like you could be in the strip club jamming to this record and hear the message and say, man, let me go home before I get in trouble.
Yeah, let me go and wrap it up, fellas. Somebody gonna go on take it to the. Let me ask you this: what made you can you break down the correlation to music and learning though? Because I noticed that you did that with. Because this is, for those who don't know, this is not your first book.
Nah, not at all.
Have the
Bridge the Gap.
We got BH365.
BH365. Yeah.
Now this has been a double. His and hers. So now this is like the fourth book. But each book has. Can I say soundtrack?
Yeah, each book.
So what is the correlation between learning and music? Because I see that that's like a major part.
Well, to me, man, I think a lot of people get stuck sometimes in their place where they're trying to find their way. And some people never figure this out. But you really get to where you want to go when you align your gifts with your purpose and actually put it to work. And then the last part is aligning your gift with your purpose. And then the third part actually is making sure your purpose is in alignment with what that's pleasing to God as well. Yeah. I feel like if you have those three, that is the automatic key to success, period. Because if you're not doing it for selfish reasons, you know what I mean, and you're actually doing something that's going to benefit and help others, and it's tied into your gift, meaning you can't start yesterday and say, I'm rapping now and I want to go do this. But if it's one of your gifts, whatever it is, and like I say, you find out what your purpose is and then make sure that it can also benefit the greater good of others, it's going to win. It's going to win. If you're good at what you do, it's going to win. So to me, I think going through music and just, you know, making it to the pinnacle on the production side, where you say, okay, I sold 30 million records. You know what I mean? I could say
it again.
So how many? I've sold 30 million records.
Round of applause for that.
All right. You know, I work with everybody production-wise that I want to work with, you know, for the most part. There's also, you know, and I'm like, okay, so what's next? What's next? You know, because I've also watched people who's done a lot of records, you know, made a lot of things happen, but they also are like, how do I put this? Now that time has passed, it's just plaques on a wall, and you sit there and you listen to somebody saying what they did back in the day, and And it's like, man, that's cool, but what do you do next? How do you become significant and not just successful? As Pops would say, shout out to Pops. But, you know, not just being successful, but being significant. Like, what do you do to live forever? And that's when I realized, like, I don't want to just create music no more. I want to create movements. And when you create movements, like, you could create a classic album, and that album's crazy, and everybody talk about how dope this album was. But the streams will eventually slow up, even though it's a classic, you know what I mean? But when you create a movement, like Human, and I do this book, and it's got a whole album to it, right? And it's got music videos.
How many songs on the album?
19.
So it's 19 chapters?
It's 19 chapters. So it's songs and music videos for everything. And it's actually something that helped you make it through a tough moment in your life. So now guess what? As your son becomes a teenager or whatever, guess what you're doing? You passing this along to them. Yo, this right here, the music is timeless, but it's also saying something that you need to hear, so you need this. So now when you create movements, it creates a situation to where, you know, you live forever. Because you provided something for the culture that's going to help people in itself. So that's really my whole gist of creating, you know, products that's making a difference, but also putting the music and the gifts behind it.
You know what's so crazy? I thought, and this might be part of it too. I was thinking like, maybe bro do that because people learn and memorize songs
Absolutely.
subconsciously. And it's like, you know, I know that's kind of a lot that go along with, we speak to that too. Just a lot of actions and way people, you know, the culture is moving in different eras.
Right.
So I was like, that's brilliant because it's like, if you learn the song, now this is subconsciously in your brain. So when you're going through heartache, depression, laziness or whatever,
Right.
them same way NBA Youngboy or the Gucci Mane song will pop in your
Right.
head. Now these songs popping in your head, and now these songs are the songs that you're channeling in on. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let me ask you this: what would you say was the most detrimental era of music? If your options was the crunk era,
Okay.
the trap era,
Okay.
the druggy era, which I call like the Shout Out to Future, but like the Percocet, Molly
Yeah,
Percocet era,
okay.
or the drill era. Which one was the most detrimental to the culture? Or you can put them in order. It's up to you.
Okay, most detrimental. Well, first off, I mean, you talked about different eras. Let's just start with drill number one, because that's straight talking about killing. So, I mean, I got to say that's the most.
I think drill will be the most.
That's the most detrimental.
Yeah.
You can't come back from death, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, if you're doing a whole thing of music that's like when you hear this, it's go time. That would be number
I've never
one.
heard anybody. They talk about all these confessions and snitching. I've never heard no one self-snitch for 3 minutes and 30 seconds ever in my life as much in the past.
In this day and time, it is crazy how the game is. It's like what I like to call, and I talk about this in the book, is there's a song called Archetypes, right? And Archetypes is something that, you know, as us as men, we were never really taught how to be a man. Nobody, you know, there was no blueprint. We we're a sponge, so we would get knowledge from everybody. And sometimes people gave us horrible advice. You know, somebody told us, "Man, don't cry, suck it up," and we became the Superman archetype where we just hold emotions. Then there's the player archetype, which, you know, we were told, "Man, you ain't cool unless you got a couple of girls," you know, and then so that became our archetype. Then there's the gangster archetype, right? And that's really what I feel like it started with. This, you got this generational curses of people who grew up to NWA and really thought the only way I'm gonna get respect and be heard is if I'm gangster, right?
Yeah.
And then that became the thing, and then you have people trying to top the gangsterism, right? Like, well, you did this, well, I didn't did this. So now we done excelled all the way to drill music, where it's just about
Killers.
I done murdered these people. They're using it in court, and you done told everything, and then you want to say you innocent. You know, it's but like I say, it's just it's an archetype, and these archetypes are messing us up. It's really, those are the things we got to break to really just even fix, you know, to stop these generational curses.
So you'll say, in your opinion, so drill will be the most detrimental. Because I was torn between drill. I ain't gonna lie. Before drill, it was like, I didn't know what it was.
Maybe the stoners after that.
But when you say stoners, I say I classify stoners and druggies different. Because stoners, You had stoners with Bob Marley. You had stoners with like what's the one Willie Nelson. Weed, and I'm not saying I'm not condoning any use of any drugs.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a difference between the stoner movement and then drugs like Percocet, Molly, heroin. Like they it's cool fentanyl. It's like no,
that ain't
like,
it.
Whoa.
That's why I say that's number 2.
What drill? I mean the druggie.
The druggie.
Okay.
Because you're right, Bob Marley, all them, but back then they were smoking reefer.
Reefer, yeah, they weren't smoking no gas.
They were smoking probably some natural.
Yeah.
Nowadays
they grew in the house.
Yeah. Nowadays ain't no telling what they putting in
it.
Reefer, right? With Tops paper. That's what. So
they weren't even doubling them up. It was just a single Tops.
So I think nowadays, bro, I just think really, it's one of them things where these cats is. Ain't no telling what they putting in this. Ain't no FDA to say, hey, this weed right here is good to go. Like it isn't that. So imagine if you got, and I'm just saying this because it is like this actually. I actually met somebody that has their own dispensary over on the West Coast. And the dude was real arrogant and he was laying out to me like, we got our medical weed and there was a whole section they had where that was all nice. And then they got more of they call like the street / consumer, right? And that was in a whole nother area. But they also said, he said, we do different things to that one. I don't know what that meant. But then they said they had the kind that go to like your, pretty much trying to say they go to the African Americans. You see what I'm saying?
Basically, it was
different. Nice. It's 2 different lanes. And they really can categorize it. And guess what? The way people are who do smoke, a person just got to say, I got this. And they like, okay, they trust it. You don't know what they sprinkling on it. You don't know what it's doing, but they are putting chemicals. They're doing a lot of things. And then they call it something new, the ooey gooey bubblicious. And all of a sudden, oh yeah, let me get that. But either way it go, whatever. Y'all know what I'm saying. So, I mean, to me, it's just the world we in right now. It's crazy.
So you got drill 1, druggie 2.
Yeah. I mean, crunk didn't really do people no harm. It just got people hyped up.
And if you was scared before that song came on, you scary afterwards, so you ain't even do nothing.
Yeah, crunk, that ain't really no harm. Now, trap, I mean, that's one that, I mean, I have to say I'm one of the forefathers of on the production side.
I was gonna say nothing. I was just gonna let you talk about trap. Let's talk about trap.
Let's talk about trap.
Because you was there for the birth.
Yeah,
you were like in the delivery room. If not, I wanted to say the delivery room.
Yeah, I mean, it was a group of us. You had Toomp, you had Shorty Red, you had Zaytoven, you had you had people like that was all in the mix of it. Jazzy Faye, your Polos was around. Like it was a lot of us that was there that were a part of the artists that birthed trap music. Like we were producing for Gucci, producing for Tip, producing for Jeezy. You know what I mean? Like so, I was happy to be a part of that movement as far as just I don't know, just really pursuing. That was the first part of me, I guess, pursuing the success that I wanted to accomplish. So in that point, it was cool. It was cool.
So you say, but is that your?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I can't say nothing. Yeah, I would have to say trap third because the trap era really motivated a lot of brothers that could have did something else to go to the streets. So we probably sent a lot of brothers to prison.
But in another light, it was probably a lot of people who were unmotivated to do anything, and then heard that music was like, I can do this, and became great at it. And what about the people who like the Tip? Shout out to Tip. Look at Jeezy now. Jeezy was one of the forefathers, but right. Jeezy doing orchestra shows with that same music now. Like,
yeah, but what I can say though, let me take that back, because when we created that whole era, bro, it wasn't about, the generation was different too. Meaning, people in our age range, we grew up with certain things that we knew was just wrong. You know what I mean? We still had our grandmas. If you ain't had your mama
speak on
or somebody there.
Speak on it.
Right. If you ain't had your mama there, you had your grandma, somebody that held you accountable in some kind of way to where you knew what was right or wrong for that generation. So with that being said, a lot of people in that generation could listen to the music and be like, that's dope, but know good and well they ain't finna do it, right? Now the kids to that generation probably listen to that and say, okay, I want to be him. And that's when the problem really triggered. If we in our generation wasn't parenting the next generation properly, then that's where I feel probably, it was most affected in a bad way.
Who do you and you be the most qualified person to answer this? Who? Because I saw this, and this was like a thing maybe like a year ago. Who would you attribute actually kicking off the trap era, like music? Because some people say it's Gucci, some people say it's Tip, some people say Gotti, and I know, the people they're gonna be like, he's by your unbiased opinion. Who do you feel like actually kicked off trap?
Well, I mean, we gotta start with Tip off the rip. And the reason why is because, don't get me wrong, the vibe of trap music existed before that. Because when you think about 8 Ball and MJG, UGK, it wasn't called trap music, but it was a vibe that people in the hood vibe to, and it was relatable. It was talking about stuff in the hood.
Yeah.
Ghetto Boys back then, they were talking about stuff in the hood, but Tip was the person that added the label and the name of trap music. He was the first one to bring it to the mainstream in the music era and say, this how we live, this what we do, it's the trap, and set out the new guidelines of, and then you got to think at that time, the South was rising in a way to where he was able to take the driver's seat and say, hey, this what we on. And it took off. Because Jeezy came after Tip, and Jeezy took it to another level. You know what I mean? So, Gotti came a little after, because actually, I remember when Gotti, of course you remember, yeah. I remember when Gotti first came in. And
I remember Gotti moved to Atlanta, he was like,
I was mentoring, I was mentoring him.
He was on the floor under us. No, shout out to Gotti, but.
Yeah, shout out to Gotti. Yeah, he came because he called me and was like, I want to move to Atlanta. And we was about to do a lot of different stuff together. So he's like, where you staying at? So I told him where my penthouse was. He got a spot over there too. But with Gotti, shout out to Gotti. Like, I think, we were doing, by the time Gotti really was hitting, it was like, we had took it to a level, to a point to where Pepper, shout out to Pepper too. Pepper brought Gotti to me and was like, man, you need to get with KHAO, because KHAO doing so much on the independent side, man. And at that point I had the, the little lotto, the sweepstakes tickets, the only artist that paid. So you could get go to a gas station and you'll see with a lotto ticket, it'll be the KHAO ticket, peel it off, make money. So it was things that was creative that had never been seen. So that's when me and Gotti kind of we really built our relationship back then and went from there. But I can honestly say, yeah. So, but Gotti definitely brought a vibe to the game that, that really turned it up to another level. Absolutely. Yeah. So, I don't know. I would say, yeah, that's how I look at that. I say Tip.
And even when they were saying it, my thing is a lot of people could be doing it, but until you put a name and the rules, this is the rules, this is what's allowed, what's not. It's like it's like unclaimed territory. Tip coined the phrase.
Yeah, he coined the phrase.
He coined the lifestyle, what we look like, what we dress like, what we allow, what we don't allow, who cool over here, who not. So to me, I always, and that, they don't take my, because they're like, man, you can't your brother, man, you gonna say Tip anyway. Mm-hmm. But I mean, just actual factuals, it would have to have been Tip to me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to, I'm saying, that's how did you meet T.I.? A lot of people don't be no one knows.
No one knows the story.
How did you meet T.I.? A producer in Montgomery. At the time, what was your biggest record was on the Dirty album, maybe?
At the time, I was working with Dirty. Shout out to Dirty Boy.
Are we skipping though? Are we skipping? Because how we get all
right, so what you want? You want to know how I got with Tip first, or you want to know how it all began?
Well, since we on the track, let's talk about how you got the Tip, and then we can do the Star Wars and do.
All right, we'll do we'll reverse after. All right, so pretty much it started when I was actually working at Hot 105. Okay. I was in high school, and I started interning at Hot 105, and this was back with Michael Long and my brother Bill Black. Shout out to Bill Black. Bill had the mix show on Hot 105, And we used to DJ at the NCO club. And that was our go-to spot. That's where we do our thing. So I used to go and help Bill carry the records and, be up in there just chilling, doing my thing. Now, it came to a point to where one night, Bill got real drunk and he was talking to this chick, and he went back and started kicking it with this chick drunk and forgot the record was about to end. So I'm like, oh snap, it's a crowd full of people dancing. And I'm calling him, Bill, your record finna end. He ain't come back. So I said, all right, I guess I got to do this. So I hop on the turntables and I start mixing. And I'm like, it's like riding a bike. I know BPMs. I produce, so I know I can cut in the next record. And I played for about 20 minutes. So Bill come back around like, who DJing? He come out there and see me. Because keep in mind, I'm the brother carrying the records in. Yeah. I'm just happy to be in the club.
Like me at the NCO?
Yeah, when I tell you there. Because, at that time, I ain't supposed to be in here. I'm happy to be here, right? So, well, as I'm doing that, though, Michael Long is sitting back by the bar watching. So I remember I came to Hot 105 that day, and Mike was like, come to my office. I thought I was in trouble or something. He was like, you did good when you was DJing. I was like, oh, appreciate it, bro. And he was like, well, I hope you're ready, because starting next week, you're going to be doing the mix show. So I literally had 7 days to figure out how to do it for real, right?
And how old were you at this time?
I was in 11th or 12th grade, one or the other.
Oh, you were still in high school?
I was still in high school when I was in the radio station. So at that point, boom, that's how I started. Bill started teaching me how to DJ, and then me and him did the track together. And then shout out to who is that right there? Dre, okay. Oh, somebody just went way back and said they want to hear Touch and Feel This. All right. Wow, yeah. We gonna
do you
get on.
Still have any of that? Yeah, we gonna trust me, y'all.
We gonna get on. Yeah, we gonna get on that.
Do you even have an actual Crumb Snatcher CD?
Somebody got one, bro, and they hit me up and took a picture of it. And it's somebody in the circle. I'm gonna get it. I know Bizzo keep up with everything, bro.
I would think like Joe. Remember Joe?
Big Joe?
Not Big Joe, the other Joe.
Joe Anfield? He might, but I know Bizzo got it.
Okay.
I know Bizzo got it.
We need that.
We definitely need that.
We need that.
But I'll say after doing that, so now Fast Track. So now I'm on the radio station. I'm DJing. And as I used to be in Hot 105, back then, it was set up to where if you went on a major record label, you was just garbage. Then nobody listened to you. It was like you didn't matter. So they had this big trash bin that they used to put all the independent records in. Just throw them in there. And I used to go through that trash bin because I'm like, man, dang, I'm independent. I don't want nobody to be throwing me over here like that and don't give me a shot. So I heard it was an artist named Mean Green. I pulled it out. I'm listening to it. I'm like, this record kind of dope. So I called the guy who was the rep on the CD that I was supposed to reach out to. It was Jason Jeter. So Jason used to be working for an independent label, and the label was actually Patchwork Studios in Georgia, in Atlanta. They used to have a record label. So Jason started off interning and working with them, and our relationship, we just got real cool, and he ended up, and from there I would play his record in the mix, you know what I mean? And made him look good, made everything work, and we just built a relationship from there. Now, Fast Track, after that, I left Hot 105, ended up doing some stuff over at with Mike London at SNA. They had an AM little thing, and I did some on there for a second. And then, long story short, I lost contact with Jay. And around that time, I remember Jay telling me, hey, man, I'm about to start managing this little young cat out of Atlanta. He can rap, he dope, da-da-da-da. I'm like, oh, that's what's up. Didn't think none of it. So, Fast Track, I went through my journey where I leave Alabama. And really, man, I left home because I felt like I did everything I could in the city. And, to where we had, like bro was saying on there, we had the Touch and Feel This, which was one of the, as a local artist, now it's more often, but back then it was huge because they weren't playing local music. So we had like the #1 song on Hot 105. That was crazy. In our mind, we thinking, man, we about to be, rich at some point, not realizing when you step out of, it's like, that's why I tell people, step out the city for a minute and really see what's going on. Because when I stepped out the city, I realized I thought I was really doing something, but in a bigger market, Alabama's listed as other. Like, not even like, you know how you got A market, B market, C market.
Yeah. You got one, they got 50 states. We got, 51. We got 50 states. Alabama will be
listed on the other with Iowa and, you know, other states that you don't really.
Idaho.
Yeah. Yeah. States that aren't taste making states of this is where the, you know, where you go to find out what's popping. And so when I realized that, I'm like, man, I got to get out of here.
Hold on. You said something that was interesting. You said they used to take all the independent artists or the local artists and put them just in like a little tote bin. Just
right.
So how did we get to the point of artists even play on the radio?
All right. So
a local artist house.
Oh yeah, and I need the city to hear this because this is a story
because I just found this out today. They have to know. I just found this. This is breaking news for me.
Man, look, the story has to be told. When we start talking about the hip hop scene in Alabama, okay, before everything, there was a crew called Cleverheads. All right, and it was a crew of us. It was a whole music crew of like we were called the Crumb Snatchers. You know, it was the Redcoats. You had Blood Brothers. You had Fat Rats. You had the Roughnecks, which Rick Rock and Dr. Fingers and Daddy and Za was the Blood Brothers, right? So y'all know Dr. Fingers, of course. Shout out to Fingers, my dog. Then you had Rick Rock was in the Roughnecks. So you had Rick, Chris Kringle, Unique, you know. So they had, and then, you know, it was like it was just a crew of us. But believe it or not, the true like hip hop in Alabama was real hip hop.
Yeah.
Because back then we didn't have a real sound, so we was fans of music. So back then, if Dawes Effects or whatever was going on, we're listening and feeding off of what the music industry is doing, period. And we were that. That was the whole hip hop market, right? Now the thing with me was I was blessed to be in the mix to where my brother was Bill Black, right? So I'm always at the radio station. I'm sitting there trying to figure out how we get songs on the radio. And we were working on songs, but nothing would work. None would work. We would sneak in Hot 105, me, Bizzo, crew. We would record records in there, and that's where we would do our demos at. But I could never get none on the radio. So I'm like, man, something got to give. Y'all don't play nothing local on the radio. So then I came up with the idea of, why don't we start creating jingles for the radio personality? Because if we do a song that they'll like, then they'll definitely play it because we did it for them. So back then there was a brother named Larry Steele. I think Larry Steele did the morning show. And then you had Monica May on the radio, and you had Michael Long, you had Daryl E. So it was the whole Hot 105 thing. So we started creating intros for all of them.
Shout out Kasi J too, man.
Oh yeah, Kasi J. All right, so we started creating intros for everybody. And then Larry Steele did his intro. And that was around the time like Criss Cross, I think, was out, and we took the Criss Cross beat and did one for him.
Okay.
And at that point, our group was called Too Much Flavor. It was me, Jamil Dacus, and of course, Droop. Shout out to Dro Piscopo. But we had the Crumb Snatch, and then D Branch was the DJ. I mean, we were Too Much Flavor back then. Y'all don't laugh at the names. You know, back then it was different. All right?
Yeah, Too Much Flavor is crazy.
Too Much Flavor.
Imagine an all-guy group dropping like Too Much Flavor.
Man,
like
pause,
25.
man.
That is crazy.
No, but back then, you know, flavor was the slang, like drip. Like,
yeah, sauce.
It was, flavor. So it was just too much drip.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Hey, Too Much Drip probably would have worked, too.
But wasn't no drip back then, so that was the drip, all right? So it was Too Much Flavor, right? So we did these intros. They started playing them. And then Daryl E came to us and was like, can you do a car commercial for? I think they was Blunt Strange or something like that. He's like, so we did car commercials for him. So the way we was being heard, because commercials playing all the time, so we was getting radio played through our commercials. Yeah. And then that had Michael Long and everybody saying, man, there's some talent in the city. we should do a talent show. Okay. And that was like the first real talent show Hot 105 did. And they did it at Lanier High School. I never forget. So, and it was cool because Drew was going to Lanier. You know, D Branch was at Lanier. I was at Cloverdale at the time, but I was the youngest of the crew. Okay. But I'm like, look, you know, we gonna get in this show and we gonna do our thing. So we put our show together.
My bad. I cut you off. Maya St. B said it was Chip Ellis.
It was Chip Ellis? Okay. Thank you. That's
crazy. That's a historian in the chat.
Yeah. So at that point, we do the talent show and we win. Guess what the winner was? They said the winner, because we were sitting down working through it, they're like, the winner, we're gonna play their song on the radio. So we won. And it was us that inspired them to do the talent show, and we encouraged to put it on. And at that point, that started Homegrown. Because that one song that they played was considered the homegrown
music. So wait, so you saying
that triggered Homegrown?
Y'all did a talent show. Y'all won a talent show.
But first off, we had to show them that it was talent in the city. Yeah. And we had to do it by doing the intros.
By doing the jingles. Jingle 2000, like James.
Right.
Okay.
Then after we got them in, we was like, it's more talent. Got them to do a talent show. We win the talent show, and we like, the winner should get a song on the radio. That's how Homegrown started.
And Homegrown still going to this day. You know
to this day, bro. So, you welcome.
That's insane. Like I told you told me that earlier, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. That's how Homegrown started, bro.
I mean, okay, this is on top of this. This is a quick one I want to ask you. Like, you see all the stuff that y'all had to do back in the day,
right?
The artists nowadays don't do that. They feel like now it's just, you know, record on your SoundCloud or your Pro Tools, put it on Instagram, Facebook, it go viral, you get a deal.
Yeah, I agree.
What advice would you give to those people?
Well, it's not even about advice now. I would say they should go, if they had the work ethic we had in our time, like I'm going to be real with you. If Dirty Boys came out when social media was out, they would have been the hottest thing, period, in America. Yeah. And I say that to say because think of the Pimp, the Gangster, the whole, everything they had within their package, how Pimp was what he wore, like everything, all that's viral moments. Yeah. If we went viral at that time, you know what I mean? Yeah. They would have got the attention. They songs and everything was hard, and they would have been the talk, and they would have been able to spread quicker. Yeah. But back then, it wasn't no Facebook, wasn't no nothing. So the only way
barely internet.
It wasn't. Yeah.
We had dial up.
So if the work they put in, you know, it was real work. They had to really go to them cities, let people know who they are, walk around, and people wondering why y'all dress like that or whatever. They had to let them know, no, I'm the pimp, this is a gangster, whatever, right? So, you know, I say that to say that's kind of, so nowadays, this generation here, they got it easy if they could apply the resources they have with that same kind of work ethic, as if, you know, I got to really get out here, but now you ain't got to go city to city to pass out flyers and get people to know who you are. And you can really just work your game and algorithm and really, you know, spend your time marketing in the right areas online. It could really, you know, take you to another level. So I don't really bash it. I just feel like they should take better advantage of the opportunities they had before them.
So you named a couple groups. You said the Redcoats.
I said Roughnecks, okay. Blood Brothers, Fat Rats, of course Crumb Snatchers. I mean, it was quite a few of us.
Give us some of the people that I might be saying this wrong. Was either the members of Dirty, or was Dirty another group before they were Dirty?
No, so I remember Dirty came up later, a little later, and me and Pimp was cool. And I remember Pimp came to me and was like, bruh, y'all niggas done made it, boy. Y'all on the radio. I can't wait till we get our stuff on the radio. And I was telling Pimp, like, man, you know, to myself, like, it's cool, but, you know, I'm wondering what's next myself. Yeah, you know what I mean? But at the time, you know, so keep in mind, Pimp ended up getting G more so in the rap, and Pimp had been doing it.
Okay.
And G was a little younger than Pimp, so I knew Pimp because Pimp used to be around Big Booski, and these guys were like the legends to us in Alabama.
Okay.
Like his brother Pee Wee D. Pee Wee D was dope. Yeah. You had Keno.
Shout out Keno Blue.
Keno Blue, Pee Wee D, Big Booski. These was like the rappers that, you know, we would go to Crampton Bowl and they would be over there having a freestyle battle, and we would go there to go and hear them rap. And I'll be sitting there like, wow, okay. I got to get my stuff up. So we kind of, that's where I think originally I would see Pimp at. But yeah, it was, and I think that's why it was always a mutual respect, because like Pimp and G, them was my bros, and they, you know, they made sure on every album earlier, you know, we would do something, they'd be like, hey, you got to get on the album. And that meant a lot to me because people know me as a producer, but they knew me as the rapper. So when I got on records with them, you know, I was producing too, but they're like, nah, you got to rap on here too. Yeah. But to me, that was kind of harmless. Like we came, you know, respect it, bro. We watch what y'all do and respect it, and it's always been love. You know what I mean? Who
else was it was you in that era that still is you, of course, Dirty Boys, Eldorado Red.
So
before he was Eldorado Red,
he was Shorty Rock.
Okay.
So
you know, I told somebody this story and they argued me down.
So Shorty Rock, Eldorado Red, that's the homie. He came from New York. He moved, his grandma, you know, of course, stayed in Ridgecrest. His family was here. So it was cool how we met, because back then it was our group, Too Much Flavor, had this little rap beef with another rap group. And I forgot the name of the group, but I remember it was Desi and Mike was their name. Shout out to them. You know what I mean? But it was cool because it was friendly competition. Like it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like when I see you, you the op. Yeah. Nah, it was like they would get in talent shows, and then we all the talent shows we really got in, we would win. But it was a little competition thing. And so when Eldorado Red, now I'll say his name, because you know he lived in the same neighborhood with them, so he was in their rap crew. And when we did it was a talent show we did at Carver, and he was there. And at this point, we had changed our name from Too Much Flavor, and then Bizzo got in the group, and we became like Flavor Quad because it was for us, right? So we had Flavor Quad. So Eldorado Red went on the stage with them, and he had a baseball bat, and he had carved Quad Killer on the baseball bat. So I remember us walking up, and he's sitting there mean mugging, and I'm like, who was this little dude, man? I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You know, we just, you know, took the high road, like, all right, cool. Then we performed, and we won the talent show. And I'll never forget, Eldorado Red came up with like, man, y'all was dope as heck, man. And it was kind of one of them moves, like, yo, man, I want to roll with y'all. I want to roll with y'all guys. Yeah. And we was cool ever since, though. You know what I mean? It was like, all right, cool, you know. So that's kind of, you know, how that went. You know what I mean? And, you know, and so on that end, I think just really, it was dope. You know what I mean? Like, he was always the homie. He was the homie. And then, you know, it was a time in music to where we was doing our thing, like I say, and I helped kind of put together the group that Eldorado Red was in at the time, because they were called the Red Coats. That's funny. No point intended. He ended up being Eldorado Red, but his group was the Red Coats, and they had Kid Ja. Shout out to, you know, Kid Ja, my brother. We was just together the other day. It was him, Juan, and Eldorado Red. So that's when we started that movement. And it was, you know, it was dope. They were a part of our whole crew. Yeah. And then at one point, you know, the crew, it kind of was like anything. It was kind of like some divisions here and there. It was all good, but, you know, people just started branching off and doing their things. And that's when Rick Rock ended up going to the West Coast. And, you know, Dooney was with him. And then Eldorado Red went as well. And, you know, then his story took off from there. You know what I mean? But, shout out to El Dorado Red. Shout out to, of course, Pimp, Dirty Boys. That's family.
Shout out to shout out to all the definite pioneers. Junior, shout out to Junior Boss too, man. He's
Junior Boss, what's happening?
He said, well, I don't want to misquote nobody. What did he say? He said, when it's gonna be time to double back, you see what's going on in the city. That's a two-part. Well, I'm gonna let you answer that part first.
When it's time to double back as far as doing more in the city? Or just, I mean, really, I'm really ready. Like I ain't gonna lie, man. I haven't had my ear to the street as much, but I talk to Tobias, I talk to Hirsch, or I just every now and then I'll be like, yo, who popping down there? I've heard Junior Boss name, I heard DA name, I've heard a couple of brothers' names that's doing great things, and I'll be like, okay, that's what's up. But I hadn't, I would love to get in and make some things happen and lay some tracks or do whatever. I just just been doing a lot of different things, so I'm ready. I'm ready to double back. That's why I'm here. I've always been a phone call away, but I also realized that a lot of the brothers that's doing things now never got a chance to really know me because by the time they were coming up, I was gone. And then you have what I like to call the hate committee, right? And I say that, and I say, it's not really to point a finger at anybody, but just like everybody who coming up in music now, as you start getting a little buzz, you end up having people that hate or may not, they're just not what you do. Now, there was a lot of people who didn't think I was going to make it, right? So they may have burnt the bridge with me. They may have, been on some old whatever. And then, boom, God behold, I take off.
Yeah.
But they know they could never walk across that bridge no more because they burnt it.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do? They going to hate on anybody who hate for anybody who could walk that bridge because they don't want them to walk the bridge either. It's the crab of the barrel mentality.
Man,
I can't do it, so my name come up. Oh, okay, man, I don't mess with him, man. And it's like, okay. But the people who did see who I am are like, no, that's a real dude. Like, and but at the same time, like I say, I'm also having to do things to take care of my family, to build a legacy, and to make the city look good, which I was hoping like the city would see. I'm putting on for the city to make us look. I want everybody to be proud of us. But at the same time, to me, sometimes I think it just got overdrowned with hate. And the times when people have an audience, and I'm not here to defend myself because I got to go out here and actually make something happen. Like, I can't be around here every time somebody say something. What you say? I got to go actually do what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how I did it. So I would just drown all that out, keep moving. And, like I say, you see who a person is by the fruit they bear. So for any haters that's out there, where's your fruit? I mean, if you still sitting in the same spot, then, to each his own. But I'm not. I got stuff to do. I got kids. I got family. I'm building legacies and also putting people on and just doing things that help our generation and our people all together.
Do you feel like the hate came from your success or people feeling entitled to a piece of it?
Well, I would say,
because the level of hate that you was getting, that's not even regular. So I can see somebody doing something, be like, "Oh man, them ain't no 24s." Right. It's a difference between somebody wanting to scratch your rims, though, steal your rims.
Right. Well, I mean, but you got to understand, a lot of people in the city have never seen that kind of success hit too. Yeah. As a producer, you go from you in the city, and now you had a production for Grand Hustle. Now you producing for everybody, and then it becomes this thing like. Some people maybe felt like some people who don't understand the game. I feel some people were upset because they're like, okay, he done made it, so he should come down here with a whole big old bus and pick everybody up and everybody be on.
A field trip.
Yeah, like a field trip to success. Where in actuality, I made it to another level, and then new levels, new devils. I'm being faced with stuff I ain't never seen in my life coming at me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm having to navigate through that. And still figure my way out and take care of my family and makes things work. So it ain't like just because I was producing for these artists that I had just the millions and millions of dollars there. I had to grind for every dime I got. And back then it was a thing to where it was just a different day and time, bro. Like people, you know, I even hear stuff the way I've heard the craziest rumors. Like somebody said, yeah, T.I. wasn't rocking with KHAO. Like what? Yeah, like T.I. my brother. Like that's forever been my brother. And I didn't finish telling the Grand Hustle story, but like I was saying, I helped Jay Jeter when I was working at the radio at Hot. Yeah. And then at that point, when we linked back up, I was the guy that I was with Jay Jeter through the whole component of building Grand Hustle. Yeah. You know what I mean? From hiring people and everything. I remember when we first met Hannah, and Hannah was working at the Shark Bar in Atlanta, and she was the hostess, and we met her, and you know, Jay would be like, "What you think?" Because here I'm his right hand, I'm his best friend. So like, I'm like, she cool, she could be a good pit bull. Rest in peace to Clay. I remember we first met Clay, and Clay was a hustler, boy. He was doing parties and doing stuff, and we met him in the parking lot, he passing out flyers, and he doing his thing. And then Jay was like, "What you think?" I said, "Man, he a grinder. Like I see him rising." So it was components that's deeper than anybody can even think. And then when I got involved with Grand Hustle, I was helping Jay on the business side. Even though I had the production talent, I never asked Tip one time, "Could you listen to my beats?" What I did was I went and I started producing for Big Country, for Mac Boney, AK, for Ecstasy, like for the whole camp, because you know, I'm like, okay, well, they talking about, you know, Big Country, like, man, you need to just hustle. I'm like, nah, we finna put you some heat together. Yeah. And then I build that, and I built things. And then as I'm doing these records for them, I never forget the day Tip called me and was like, and this was around the time that whole thing fell out, where you had Carmichael and the whole music crew we had created. Yeah. And everybody kind of pulled a whole little coup and dip. Right around that time, after that.
Who was crazy?
Yeah, everybody. That's a whole nother story, bro. All right, but you know, it was like I felt by myself, and I'm like, dang, man. And then I never forget, Tip called me like a week later, and he was like, "Yo, where my beats at, man? I didn't heard this heat on Big Country on this," and I said, "Man, I thought you'll never ask," and that's how that started. So at that point, now. And keep in mind, there was a promise that I told Jay Jeter, because Jason, when me and Jay did link back up, and I'll tell you how that happened. Because like I told you, I played his music, we was cool. We lost contact for years. At that point, I left Alabama, and I'm like, if I'm going to make it, I got to get out of here. Yeah. If not, I'm like, I just can't do nothing else no more. Ain't nothing else I can think of I can do. I can only do so many shows at the Rose. I can only do so many shows in these areas before it's like, what's next? So boom, I take a leap on faith. I moved to Atlanta. While I'm in Atlanta, I had me a little job, had my little apartment, remember? Yeah. And I used to have Colosso, you know, B and Z and Hurst there. And I'm out there I had saved up enough money from the club for enough months of rent to, you know, until I got a job. So I got a job. Job wasn't paying enough. I ended up being homeless, living in my truck. Still going to work, not telling nobody back home what I was going through, because I ain't want to prove nobody right. Because I felt like when I left, people was waiting on me to come back home.
He'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back. You know, and I tell people to this day, it was nights that it was cold, and I wanted to cut my heat on in the car, but I realized if I cut my heat on, I'm gonna run all my gas out. That I used to have to sit back, and the way I made it through those times was to think about where I am today, telling the story I'm telling now at that very moment. Yeah. To take myself away from what the reality looked like at that time. You see what I'm saying? So that was something that
that's hard too.
Yeah, you know, so that was what was done. But in the mix of that, that's when you know, make a long story short, I ended up going to New York. I ended up becoming a ghost producer, producing under a big producer, did a lot of records, left there, came back home. And then I opened up a studio with Mr. Rick. Shout out to Mr. Rick. And we, you know, started the crew Heavy Hitters, right? But when I came back home around this time, Cash Money, Master P was out. So every dope dealer started the label. Yeah. You know, everybody had a label. We had Cadillac T. You had everybody popping now, right? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool. This is what's up. And, you know, and Dr. Fingers and myself was probably the two main producers that people would come to around the city at that time. But I remember Hustle was from Atlanta, but he was here in Alabama. Hustle Man. Yeah. So Hustle was the one that was like, hey, I'm rocking with all your beats. But he was dope because he used to buy features. So he put Lil Jon and the East Side Boys on one of my beats. Then he came to me and was like, yo, I want to put T.I. on a beat. But he said he wanted $5,000. I'm like, man, we ain't paying nobody no $5,000, man. So I'm saying to myself, I'm only probably back then making about $750 a track. I'm like, how we gonna pay somebody? We not doing it. He's like, well, man, come negotiate it for me. So I get up there to Atlanta, I negotiate with Tip, talk it down to like $4,000. So I feel like I did some, you know,
stack off.
Yeah, took a stack off. So I'm sitting there negotiating with Jason and didn't realize it was the same Jason from years ago that I looked out for.
Because he looked different or just...
No, because I was in the gun. We wasn't going to Atlanta like that.
Yeah.
So me and his relationship was via phone. We'd talk every day.
Yeah.
But I probably met him in person like once or twice. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how that went. You know what I mean? It was one of those things to where I had never really... Hey, what's going on, these? Wow. So I had never really at that point I never really met him like that.
Yeah.
Well, we just hung out. And it had been years. So when I noticed it because when I looked at the actual back of the CD, because back then I had a burnt copy of the I'm Serious album. But when I looked at the back of the CD and I saw Jason G, I'm like, wait a minute. And then we get to chopping it up like old times. So as we chopping it up, bro, it's like, well, look, man, we finna start Grand Hustle Records because, you know, originally, you know, Tip was signed to Ghetto Vision, and Ghetto Vision was a subdivision under Arista, and I think something happened to where Ghetto Vision had lost the deal. So at that point, it was almost like as if T.I. got dropped from the label, but it wasn't his fault. It was just the company, you know, the situation at hand. So Jason was like, look, man, I ain't never really did a record, you know, like where I put it out independent or anything, you know. I'm from New York. I walk records in, you know, and he's like, and back then, if you got dropped from a label, it was like considered the worst thing ever, right? It was like having a plague or something. So I'm like, Jay, but this album's so hot, bro. We can do this independent. We don't need to start a whole new album. And that's how the momentum started. So I started getting with Jay. I started using my connects because I'm like, okay, I'm plugged in Alabama. So I started getting Dope Boys in the Trap, Do It Baby, Stick It Baby, different songs on that album. I started actually putting those on the getting those to different DJs I knew. And then, you know, help get shows. So it was like Tip was doing at least 4 or 5 shows a week throughout Alabama alone. You know, helping where I could help facilitate. Never asked for a dime. You know what I mean? Just doing my part. You know, we were the first, we all came together and put our $100 and stuff into a pot to do the first Gangsta Grill CD. You know what I mean? Because at that time, Drama was, you know, he had came from Philly and he was there, but it's a lot of history that was done to where there's no such thing as saying they not rocking with KHAO. You know what I mean? Because the whole situation at hand, all the way navigating through the deal, with Warner was me and Jay. You know, to where when the offer gets offered, he say, what you think? Nah, you can't do that one. When Puff came offering a deal, I'm like, man, you can't do that one. But it's Puff, though. I said, I know, but you told me to make a promise that you was going to you wanted to be the next Cash Money. You wanted a partnership deal. I said, we can't do that if you sign to somebody. He's like, you right. Then from there, it went from that to doing, then Warner came with a deal. And it was a big record deal. I'm like, yeah, but that still ain't got the ownership. So then they came back with a label imprint deal offer. And I'm like, man, nah, you can't do that. But Jay, like, it's a lot of money. I said, yeah, but a label imprint deal means they just going to put your logo on the back of the CD. You still don't have ownership. You see what I'm saying? So then, you know, Leo was like, whoever you guys are imbeciles, you're going to mess this up. I'm done, da-da-da-da, hangs up. So me and Jay going back and forth. He like, man, I'm like, trust me, man. Power's in the people, not the execs. Like, Tip got the people. They gonna call back. Bruh called back and offered the partnership.
The Grand Hustle deal.
Yeah. So the whole point is, like, you don't out nobody out of a situation who was a part of the entire movement. You see what I'm saying? But what it was this. You know, there's politics in this game. And it got to one point in the game to where, I don't know if people didn't know this, but I never sold my soul. You know what I mean? I owned all my publishing. I never did a pub deal. I never did any of that. And in this game, the higher up you get, you start to realize you on a trap. And if they ain't, and I say they, I don't mean Tip, I mean the system itself, okay? You in the system's trap, and they ain't owning a piece of you. But they thought they was owning a piece of you because they signed and did the deal with Grand Hustle. So they assumed I was signed and pub and all of that. But once again, we helped build the situation. So we brothers.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. But so when they found that out, they started coming at me trying to offer me more money and other stuff. Now, my loyalty to Tip and the squad was I never did a deal at all, because before I do a deal and leave who I'm loyalty to, where my loyalty lies for more money, I just won't do a deal.
Yeah.
So I never did a deal. But
Never did a pub deal.
Never.
To this day?
Recently, I just sold some of my publishing. Okay. A little bit of my catalog I did sell, but I never did a pub deal. Okay. No. I maintained all.
For those who don't know, because we talking real music jargon. What is a pub deal?
So a pub deal would be if you're an artist, you record your records. You got publishing for the records that you do. Every time it's playing or streaming, you make money. That's your publishing. So labels will offer you, when you start to get hot, they'll offer you a pub deal, but they really didn't calculate the money that's already out there. But they tell you, hey, I'm gonna give you an advance of this amount of money, but we need to own half your publishing. And then you end up in this deal until you pay that money back. They got your publishing. And a lot of times, because it is the system, they'll set the deal up to where it's hard to even get your money back. You know what I mean? Because the pub deal, because they kind of control what placements you get. And a lot of times it's not the money you really think it is. Like if somebody say, the way I used to look at it is when I got offered $1 million pub deal, I say, okay, that's a lot of money. That's dope. But I'm looking at it like that's $1 million, but you're not going to give me the whole million. You want to give me half of that. And then they may say for that $1 million, I got to do 12 songs. That sounds easy, 12 songs. But if you just a producer, that's one half of the song, because whoever song it is wrote it. So that means you got to do 24 songs before you can actually get your other $500,000. And out of that one $500,000, you got to pay your attorney. So if they getting 20%, you automatically do what rappers try to do. You want to go get you something nice and get some jewelry or the money gone. The money gone.
We ain't talking about taxes.
We ain't talking about no taxes. That's 40%. And they want 40 of the whole million. So basically you got about 100. You got about 62. You got about 62, 70, 75. Right. So when you look at it that way, that's how my mind just looked at it. I'm like, nah, I can't do no deal like that. And but needless to say, I never did a deal. And so at one point, it would appear to be distance from KO or Grand Hustle. It wasn't an issue of me and Tip or Jay, because we all brothers. But it was a thing to where if I'm refusing to operate in a system that your label is a part of, right?
I gotta separate.
I gotta separate
from the system.
From the system, not from you. So we had talks, how the kids, blah, blah, blah. But I'm gonna go be great over here. Yeah. Because I'm not gonna do a deal for more money than you can offer me. Because Tip offered a deal, but it's like Tip was offering one thing that they offered him, but then another group was offering 3-4 times the amount of that. Yeah. But out of loyalty to Tip, if that's the best Tip could do, I'd rather not do a deal at all before I cross him out. I
thought it was money that way. I didn't think it was, but I did, because you had loyalty was Tip, Grand Hustle for sure, but you have a lot of friends, allies, brothers in Atlanta. So I always wonder, how tricky was it for you navigating that Tip Ludacris situation? Because you and Luda are like bros too.
Yeah, that's on me. Well, see, this is how I looked at it. See, I saw behind the curtain. So you gotta understand, Tip and Luda used to stay around the corner from each other. Yeah. So although to the world it was a real beef, I remember being with Tip and Luda. They used to pass by and he'd be like, yo, what up? He's like, you heard that record? Yeah, I got one coming next week. I bet. It was like, it wasn't beef like that. It wasn't like flipping Tip. You know what I mean? It was different, but at the same time, as a producer, I was more, okay, and I don't want to say this, you got beat makers and you got producers. Yeah. One of the things about producers is producers have a say. Like, we ain't yes men. Yeah. If something ain't right, this ain't popping. This and that. So I had a relationship with the artists I work with to where it's like, if it's something that ain't no real situation where ain't nobody put their hands on you, ain't nobody did nothing crazy, then y'all just on ego. Y'all just, rapping to see who better. Then if a check come to feed my family, I'm to let them know, bro, I'm finna go get this check. Because I'm not going to miss that check and then turn around and then, a couple weeks later, y'all didn't squash the beef, but I missed out on the placement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would just be straight up and lay it out, but that was the authority. Nowadays, it's a lot different because in the game, it's more cliquish.
Yeah.
To where somebody's feelings will really be hurt. Like, and I get it. Because, Kendrick Lamar, that's the homie.
Yeah.
So right now, I would feel if Drake called and wanted a beat from me.
Wait, hold on,
I would be like.
Hold on. Kendrick the homie.
Kendrick is my dog. Yeah.
Hey, for I don't know, you're originally from the West Coast.
Yeah, originally, yeah.
Okay. If Drake called KO for a beat right now, he like, look, I'm ready to come back. 40 tripping. He talking about he ain't mess.
You know what I would do? I would grab my phone and I would call Kendrick. And I have a real conversation with him before I did it. I would.
You gonna say?
I have a real conversation with Kendrick.
So Kendrick saying, I feel you, but we ain't rocking with the boy.
If Kendrick say he ain't rocking with him, right?
You like?
Well, first off, I don't think Kendrick would just say that to me, because me and Kendrick is cool. That's the homie. And he got a lot of respect for me, vice versa. But what I would probably tell Kendrick is, look, man, we need to get in the studio this week.
That's what I'm saying.
Because if I ain't taking this Drake placement,
we gotta do an album.
Right. We finna have a whole EP. Right, a whole EP done.
E.G. Lane,
right.
KO Kendrick EP.
Off rip.
Double K EP.
Because this is a check that I need. I need this check, so I'm letting you know now. But I mean, I'm just saying that's the kind of way the game is now, right? So I say that to just say, man, I don't know. I think that back then it wasn't like that as much, and unless it was a situation where it was some real beef, then it'd be like, man, I can't rock with bro. Yeah. But that's how I look.
Well, let's talk about now how this is parallel, because the old guard mixed with the new way have bump heads with the whole Young Thug and Gunna situation.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard some of the calls or not.
I've been hearing the calls.
Okay.
They dropping like mixtapes.
Yeah, exclusive gangster grills.
Yeah.
One of them, Thug was saying or implying, to me it sounded like as if we was talking to 21 Savage.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Savage. He was saying, basically, I don't really feel like you should really go as hard on Gunna. And Thug, for lack of better words, admitted to the fact that if it wasn't for the fact of, same thing you said, if Wham and, Pluto, keep saying their names, Future and Lil Baby and Dirk had already jumped out the window, he would be cool with it.
Right.
Which is kind of similar to what you were saying. But you did it a little different then. And there's no bloodshed on that end. I don't think anybody right. each other. Do you think it's more cliquish, or like the cliquish they have now, to me, it has remnants of back in the day, but now it's a little something different in it.
Well, I think, bro, it ain't even cliquish no more. Like, we had our crews, but now it's just flat out. It's like, it's a whole thing. Like, if somebody say, I don't like this person, then everybody, well, I hate them too.
I hate them too.
And it just is that. And it's like they end up not even knowing why they hate the person, but they just hate them. It's like, okay. Like, I would be the person, if someone says, I don't like this person, I'd be like, well, what happened, bro?
Yeah.
What did he do, like, to make you not like this person? I'm just curious. Because, I don't just hop on bandwagons. I got my own wagon that I got to drive.
Pause. So, that's crazy. But I would say that.
I ain't talking about like that.
Crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, my own vehicle.
Yeah.
I'm driving my own vehicle, my own spaceship, bro. So I don't know.
How do you, imagine this. Because the human, I feel like all them boys could use your book for sure.
Right.
With the Young Thug situation, I'm pulling into your book. What chapter would you dedicate to Thug out of that book? Post all this stuff to what chapter would you be like, look, read this chapter, it'll help you out of Human?
It's a few of them, bro.
Give it to me.
Okay, one of them would be the archetype chapter. because you got to think once again, man. These are good brothers. Like when you sit down and you really like, if you talk to Thug, like he got a big heart and he really is about helping his people. It's just when it didn't go the way he wanted, that hurt turned into something else though, because resentment and anger. So there's chapters in the book about that, about helping you deal with trauma and resentment and anger. There's records on that. There's a record called Breathe. And that record is to stop you before you black out and do anything stupid.
Breathe is hard.
That record
Breathe don't even sound like a self-help song.
Nah.
Run? Was it Run?
Yeah, Run.
And Breathe, those don't even sound like...
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah. It's a lot of them that's just like, they just jamming records. But then at the same time, it worked that way. So I would say something like that, just be like before... Just breathe in first before you react out of anger or anything else, because you don't want to say nothing that's going to come back and, haunt you. So I'll probably be one of them.
Yeah. What advice would you give? What advice would you give to Thug now? Like with him trying to, it seemed like that. I don't know. It's like the game fickle. It's like he getting this taste of the fickle pickle right now.
I mean, right now, bro, I would be like, man, it's just time to focus on you. Be the best man that you could be in the areas, just areas that, be honest with yourself. Look at the areas where you need to improve and just, focus on being the best you could be. So, at that point, I feel like the rest is history. Because if not, you're going to end up, dealing with just, facing what everybody else is saying, the crowd, what everybody else is coming at you with. And not having to tap dance to everybody else. Well, they said this, so now I gotta defend this. Just work on being a better you. Whatever you feel you need to grow in, because I ain't nobody can judge but God. But whatever you feel you need to grow at, I promise you, it's something in this book that's gonna help you grow, and records you're gonna relate to. So that's what I would say.
Let me see. I got a couple more questions. I'm gonna let you get about it because we got a lifetime of stories and stuff to talk about. So this had to be like an IRA. So we got everyone. Matter of fact, part 2, I'm gonna come up there and we're gonna
come on to the studio,
the warehouse.
Yeah, y'all know we got KMG Studios. So it's 30,000 square feet. I got a whole film facility in Atlanta. Got the sound stages in there. So we be shooting music videos and they be shooting movies in there.
These like a Wild 'N Out episode or something in there before?
It's been all kinds of stuff.
I know
shot
you did
in there.
the
We did,
Black Youngster.
Black Youngster. A lot of the Love and Hip Hop be shot at my spot.
20v1, all that type stuff.
Yeah.
That's like that whole type vibe in there.
Yeah. So, then I got, over 40 million in camera equipment. So I've rented stuff to Tyler Perry. Right now we doing, we just did a Target commercial. I think we had some equipment there, but we always doing some on that. Got the music studios there. Got the music distribution. Got the consulting. So I got the components for the city. You know what I mean? We just need to really sit down and see what's what. And we'll make some stuff happen.
I think about the city when it comes to that, and no knock to nobody. I think the city is more, and not just Montgomery. I think it's just the mentality. I think any small spot looking at a big spot, it looks way more glamorous and easy. Like that's the whole niche of like the marketing. Like so easy, caveman can do it. Anybody can do this. The work has to come. The music is not even 10% of it.
Right.
Shout out to Junior too, because he did ask the question of like, well, when you gonna come? I never like understood even when rappers do that. Why would I work this hard to get this level of success, notoriety, and money to go back to the starting point?
Well, the key of it is this, bro. I feel like every artist, including myself, and I had to kind of let that go. In my mind, I envisioned doing all these great things and coming home and just having a whole parade and we doing great stuff and everything, kumbaya. But the higher up you go, the more people hate and the more people spread things. Well, I would meet people and they'll be like so happy they met me and they'll be like, I gotta be honest, man, I was all wrong. I heard this story about this and that,
about you,
but
Jack.
you a real one, Jack. I ain't know.
Like, and I'm like, wrong and I'm a real one. What did you thought I was?
I'm like, dang. But I get it. If it's just people sitting here that ain't doing much and they talking and they making up their own stories and ain't no way to, then it is what it is. I get it. But like I told you, bro, I just I feel like anybody that want to make some stuff happen, man, also take a ride out the city. Come on, drive them 2 hours. Let's come to the studio. Let's sit down and talk. Let's really sit down and see what's what. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's like, even artists here is only so far you can go in the city. Because the bigger you get, you know, the next thing comes is competition. And competition leads to hate. And next thing you know, then now you got...
Now you a drill artist. You got to be a drill artist.
Now you
got drill.
Yeah, because somebody going to say something out your crew. You know what I mean? Or somebody going to say something reckless. And we in a small city. The Gump ain't big like that. So with that being said, it's like, man, I think the more the artists are more on the line and really, like, that's one thing I can say about the A. Even when a lot of them artists, they support each other, though. You know what I mean? They'll support each other. One having a video shoot, the other ones come out. You know what I mean? And if there is some beef, a lot of times, kind of like what you're seeing right now, where you had Thug, but then you got other brothers coming together saying, hey, man, come on, man, we can't do this. You know what I mean? You had somebody stepping in like, bro, come on, we got to keep it tight. Yeah. So I say that to say, like, or even in Cali, it's the same way. It be beefs going on, but the world don't be knowing about it because they be like, look, man.
Like, we can internally, get into it, but y'all stay out of it.
Right. We going to handle this.
Yeah.
Whether it's amongst the sets, the OG, one way or another, we going to work it out if it's to be worked out, but y'all ain't going to know nothing about it.
Yeah.
And I think you know, it's just us. If we eliminate the crab of the barrel and realize, man, it just eliminate the barrel, bro.
Yeah.
Like, who the heck told us mentally we had to be in the barrel in the first place?
Man, that's a whole, that's so much.
So, you know,
that's a whole nother. That's crazy.
So, I mean, you know, sky's the limit. It's just about the support group. That's why the A grew like it did. Imagine if, let's say, Junior Boss, DA, or whoever dropped a record, and the whole city, every side, north side, everywhere got behind that record because it was the city.
That's what happened with Doe.
I know. We saw that happen. If that happened every time,
and the sad part is we also saw the other part of him not getting up out of here.
Exactly. Because there's always somebody who doesn't understand when you elevate the different levels. And then it's always people that look at it like Doe is Doe B, but then you got somebody like, oh, that's just so and so.
That's just Glenn, bro.
Yeah, he was. I remember when
he had fake shoes.
Right.
He was such and such.
I remember when he used to that. It's always that. It's like, okay, but he ain't that now, bro. Yeah. So So it's a lot of stuff that comes with it, and it's that entitlement of people trying to rob you of your blessings that's there because they remember you before you had them.
Yeah.
Instead of congratulating you and seeing how we can come up and do some stuff together, you know?
That's crazy, man. The last question. What would you, besides, of course, your relationship with God? I'm gonna say this. How important is you, or was you having? Because of course, everybody know you married.
20 years. 20 years.
Congratulations, man. Big shout
20 years.
Dubski.
Right.
2 dimes.
Right.
What? Let me say. How can I say this? Okay. First, what role did you having that queen, that partner, just taking them vows play? Do you feel play in your ascension to everything you have done? Because a lot of people don't know. You've been grinding for a minute. And it seemed like, from what I can remember, because I remember riding with you one night to meet Jay, like at the Columbus line. And I remember it was like a restaurant with closed. I remember when I first seen Jay, you had just reached your hand out the window. Y'all basically changed a beat CD. He ain't talk. I'm thinking we finna go meet T.I. I'm like, yeah, I'm Ryan. I think we finna go meet T.I. You know what I'm saying? I remember going to meet him like at somewhere around the state line, and y'all changed beats. Changed the CD. Wasn't too far after that, you got married. And it's like as soon as you got married, it's like we had moved to Atlanta. Remember the townhouse? We weren't even through unpacking. Knock on the door, box. White, like, was it white? Why you want to go do that? It was official. It was a single. And it's like, I'm like, back then we looking at it like, no, like he just got married. Oh my God, like we gotta hit the road, Jack. But it's now being married and knowing how like God works and how God bless and honor marriage. I just explain to the people or give you a rendition of how implemental just knowing not only your path you're gonna take with being like a committed man, a man, and the role that having one woman play in your life. Because we all think you get the money, you get the fame. They for everybody.
No, man, look, that's a part. There's something that on one of the songs. It's called "On That Kool-Aid." Super hard on the book. It talks about the way society is and how the power that social media has played on us nowadays and pitting us against each other. Like you say, that's pitting men to think that all women are gold diggers, are telling women that a man working a 9 to 5 is lame. You know what I mean? Like, it's all these different components of it's really some miserable person that has a little power and a little money that's mad because they miserable, so they want to break up other people's good things, so they create a new wave or a trend, and it creates a ripple effect to break up some good things. Now, on my end, I would say it was very important. It was really detrimental to me. Like when me and Miko got married, because we got married before the singles and before everything took off. You see what I'm saying? And, you know, she's been there through it all. You know, she's the one that has to be there when, you know, when the world and everything's coming at me and, you know, and you don't know what's what. And that's the person that's there with me, for me. You know, she's been there from the ups, the downs, you know, the situations, and she's been there. You know what I mean? Holding it down with our kids and making it work. And that's one thing I'll tell you. If you think it's about getting in this game and becoming famous and just having a bunch of women, that ain't it. Because every woman, the minute you get famous, because of these archetypes and the way social media works, not only are you worried about any potential women that's will be considered groupies that's only you getting a chance of contracting some kind of disease you don't need. Yeah. You get and you got to understand, every city you go in, if they do, if it's someone doing this to every celebrity that hits that city, I mean the ratio of something crazy comes closer. But not just that, you dealing with the fact of potentially getting robbed. Because these women be with somebody else and they be the ones to set you up. You dealing with the potential of, and most importantly, there's no love there. You can't find love moving that way. Because they know what you want and you know what you know, it's vice versa. Everybody know what they doing. So, I mean.
Like arrangement. It's already set up.
Yeah, it's already set up and it leads to loneliness. And when you really need somebody, they ain't there. So, to me, it's like, I think it's very important. Like, that's been the biggest part. That's been the driving force of me. You know what I mean? It made it to where I don't care what nobody think. You know, I need to make sure home is good, make sure, you know, my wife is good, my kids are good. And, you know, it don't matter. I think if you don't have that, you'll end up swaying a lot of ways because you trying to, it's like, nah, I don't care what nobody thinks.
You're looking for that happiness. You're looking for that peace. You're looking for something. It's like I had all the, yeah. That's how you get,
Yeah.
That's crazy, yeah. You looking, boy, hey, you looking for your keys, and you don't look there where obvious, so now you start looking all in the bathroom drawer.
Right.
You start looking up under in the trash. You like, now you looking anywhere for it.
Refrigerator.
You looking in the refrigerator for your car keys. It's diabolical. Yeah, exactly, man. Is Illuminati real? Or, okay, I'm saying, is it real today? Because I can see how that could have mattered back in the day.
No, it's real.
But now with people being able to just do their own, like, wow, why?
It's real. But it's not what people think it is. And I say that to say, most people think, oh, man, this artist done got hot.
Oh, yeah, you can't even have a hot song right now.
Yeah, you at the Illuminati. But first off, bro, the Illuminati is these wealthy families that control the world. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, it's these key families that control all these different compartments. They ain't listening to who the new rapper is that's hot right now. They talking about global control, gold, the wars we see going on now. like the war that was going on with Russia and Ukraine, you know, and that's over. You dealing with Bitcoin and the dollar going down to being dang near worth 3-4 cents now, but they ain't said it yet. It's all these components that's going on, but you know, they on that. They not looking for, oh, y'all heard the new hot artist out that
Louisiana. We got to get him because he.
Yeah, no, it ain't that, bro. There is, you know, now you do have gatekeepers that are in the industry, and they can be some pretty wicked people. You got witches and warlocks. You got a lot of crazy stuff in this realm. You know what I mean? But you got these gatekeepers, and everybody got tabs on everybody. Everybody got a file.
Yeah.
You know, the way when you get to a certain level, it's almost like I
think Wack 100 said they call them handlers.
Handler. There you go. That's real. That's a real thing. And a lot of these handlers like having fun with new people that that want to get a certain slot that they're the handler of. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on what that handler's vice is. Could be something that person. So yeah, there'll be situations where you could say somebody sold they sold, but everything ain't the Illuminati did it. Yeah. It's like the Illuminati it's almost like a KKK thing where everybody put capes on so you don't know who to blame. You just say it's the Klan. Yeah. If you just say the Illuminati, something messed up can happen. Well, the Illuminati did it. Oh, okay.
Just like
you can't point to.
It's like the black people knew where it's saying the man to me.
Right.
But it's on the success level.
Right. But it is a veil that other people use and make it as such so they can push their agendas. Like, for instance, there's things that happen in hip hop now that I've witnessed firsthand where I've met one of the head guys over 30% of the prisons in America who sat there and told me to my face he invests in hip hop because it protects his investment and brings more people to prison.
How you felt when he told you that, though?
I was so disrespected. But then I was hurt at the same time because right after he said that, he mentioned the artist that I had just produced and asked me if I knew him. And this dude was an old white guy, looked like Boss Hogg from Dukes of Hazzard. Dang. Had a cowboy hat and all, and was cocky and let people, he didn't care. And how that whole conversation sparked, I'm at this party in Beverly Hills, and me and my godpops the only black people in there. And guy come up to me, you into that music, hip hop, huh? I said, yeah, I produce music. He's like, yeah, I know all about that. He was like, I said, oh yeah, you don't look like the music type. He's like, oh, well, you know, I'm gonna tell you now, you got Sony and, you know, stuff like that, but you think Sony PlayStation or your Sony TVs is like the labels, but no, the music side would be considered the Sony last name that would be considered the crackhead cousin that's gonna mess the money up. So Sony TV and PlayStation don't share their pot with the music. So they have to go pull money from other places. And he says, and I invest in it. And I'm like, well, what do you do? He says, I own 30% of the prison. He says, I call it protecting my investment. And then that makes sense. Because when artists put albums together, sometimes the labels say, well, that's cool, but we need it a little more edgy. Yeah. Can you do more of this? Can you be a little more gangster? Yeah. We need more guns. Because they know, once again, music touched the soul. So if you on a record doing drill music, then what they do? They get you drunk, put you in a hole-in-the-wall club with one way in, and bang the drill music. Somebody going to jail.
It's like hypnosis. It's pretty much hypnosis, chanting.
Somebody going to jail. And he getting paid. That's the system we dealing with. So that's what made me start taking turns to stuff like HUMEN and Bridge, like, because I wasn't going to allow the system to use me to be that a pawn for them. Now, don't get me wrong, I rock with my homies, and if I do tracks and still knocking out tracks, but I'm just not. I ain't with that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I felt like it was a thing, but I felt like it was kind of like inflated, and I not even as far as the power. I felt like the culture kind of had a narcissistic way to think that these people are coming down here and they know about the new gangster grill that just dropped. And they worried about you with your one song,
right?
And your EP, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna recruit him." Like,
bro, look,
stop it.
I'm gonna tell you now. They hide behind the Illuminati blanket, like KKK, because think about it. If everybody knew it was a prison system, or it was, let's say, gay rights, or it was this particular organization that's pushing the drugs, the fentanyl, and they all are pushing things through hip hop. But if we knew that, then now we know a face to boycott, to cancel, to band together. But if you just say it's the Illuminati, these people can move freely and do their manipulation. So that's why it's there.
Yeah, that's crazy. A distraction within the distraction.
Yeah, there we go.
So what you want? I know you got to hit that road. You got a lot going on. And what you want to leave the people with?
Man, look, man. You know, this is home, man. I love the city. I love all my people, man. You know, and I want to do more here. I want to Bridge the Gap here. My program that, you know, in the schools that teaches character building and life skills and helps our kids persevere through the problems they face through hip hop music. And that's taught by me and Megan Good via video. I want to bring curriculum here where literally I produced over 650 songs that teach math, science, social studies, and English aligned to the Common Core, K through 12. Hip hop music videos like to meet our youth where they are. I want to bring, you know, BH 365, you know, the book we got on Black history and the music, just the way you learning your entire Black history, and it's in schools. Human, you know, on this end, Human for Her. Like, there's so many products that I've been building, and it's bothered me that I'm doing things now that when my products are being used all over the world, in Africa, everywhere else, and they're making a difference, but I hadn't been able to get it home yet. And that bothers me because this is what I value most. So, you know, I'm like, everybody is listening, yo, let's get the word out. And, you know, let's first heal our city so then we can build an empire. Because right now the foundation is cracked. And there's some things we need to do. And, you know, I'm just here, you know, I'm here creating and putting in the work and putting my own money in to make it happen. And I'm just like, you know, the evidence base is there. So anybody that y'all know in the city that, you know, we can put these products in their hands to start getting the ball rolling, the way I can start really bringing some even more money to the city and building up, that's what I'm ready to do, bro. But I'm just about elevation and moving up, man. I ain't with the negative. I ain't with none of that, because none of that put money in none of our pockets. And, you know, it just don't lead nowhere where I'm going. So, y'all know my bro right here. He been here, so it ain't hard to get me. If you can get to him, you can get to me. And let's work. That's where I'm at, bro.
Hey, man, I couldn't have said it no better myself, man. Look, we got to do another one because there's so much stuff still.
Yeah, I ain't even talk about you and Z and oh man.
We got
I ain't get into none of that.
Yeah, man, because we're gonna talk about that coup. Was I part of the coup, bro?
You was kind of part.
Was I part of the coup?
You was confused.
Yeah, I was confused.
Yeah,
I was part of the coup.
You was
I was confused.
You was dangling in there, bro.
Look, I was confused, man. I was like 17, 18, bro. You know, I'm just trying to. I'm trying to get on the radio and rap, bro. I'm trying to get for everybody.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? But I get. Hey, listen, man. We got to. Matter of fact, part 2. This definitely officially part 1. We gonna come up to Atlanta. We gonna do part 2 up there in the warehouse for sure.
Yeah, we had some fun, man.
Yeah, man. Look, man. KO in the building. I mean, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That like, you know, so this got to be the biggest interview I've ever done. You know what I'm saying? At this point, you know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it.
I need one of them plaques too, man. Give me one of the ones you don't really care about, so I can just put back down on my wall. Just give me one. Give me one of the ones like you know. I know you care about all of them.
Well, we
Give me one. Let me take a picture of it.
I can get a second one order. We get some more.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Hey, make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. So every time we drop it, you got it. Look, so all the books and everything are available where?
Okay, here we go. Human is for the man. Human for her, for our ladies. It's not just a book, online course, all the music videos, the audio book, everything all in one. When you scan the code in the book, you got everything, right? You can get that at humen.me, but it's HUMEN.me. Not .com, it's HUMEN.me. You know, follow me, of course, on all the handles, which is KO Music, KHAO Music. You know what I mean? You just say, hey, I'm in the Gump, I'm following back, and we just gonna run it like that. But yeah, y'all get with me.
And it's just like that, man. We go on to next time. You dig?
Hey.